All right, my friends, happy Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. So, we're back in the house sitting gig again, and I'm just sitting here enjoying the air conditioner. It's a hot one today. So, let me tell you what's been on my mind. I've just been reliving my trip to Colorado last summer. I thought I would take you on the route that I took. So, we left Nashville, long drive to Memphis. I get to Memphis and I hit a lot of road construction. And it's a very boring drive out of Memphis. You're still on 40, and I think you'll go to Little Rock. Yeah, Little Rock. And then it splits off and goes northwest on 40. And it's a pretty tough drive through this area here. Not too much to see until you get right up in this area of Arkansas. And the Ozarks kick in. That's kind of pretty right through here. You travel on into Oklahoma. And nothing to see here. I made it through Oklahoma City. I actually stopped at a Planet Fitness right here in Yukon. Let's pull that in. Right there's a Planet Fitness somewhere in this area here. Got a shower, continued on, made it all the way out about 30 miles to a little town called Hinton. I think that's it right there. There we go. No, yeah, that's it right there. We're right off I-40. There's a casino and a Love's Travel Stop. There it is. I started to spend the night here, and it was too loud at the travel stop, so I drove down to the casino, and right there, parked there for the night, and didn't sleep very well. I got up about 4 in the morning, got back on the interstate, and it was the worst storm I've ever seen. The lightning was incredible that night. Well, I continued on I-40 toward Amarillo, and I guess that took about 2 hours to get to Amarillo. And as I was pulling in, here was the kicker. I was going through Amarillo and George Strait came on. Amarillo by morning. So that was a pretty cool part of the trip just there. And I was a little shocked at Amarillo. It's really a nice town. I like the architecture there. Really cool. Okay, so I leave Amarillo, and right before you get to Albuquerque, there's a little cutoff here. Let's see what this is. 64, I think it is. And you can take the back roads up to Santa Fe. Yeah, that's the way I went. 64, 25 into Santa Fe. I stopped at the Walmart there and got some supplies and hung around Santa Fe for a while. I left out of Santa Fe and went back southward toward Albuquerque, and then you hit the great 550 highway. Right there. This road becomes beautiful right as you get into Colorado, but it's a long ways to Colorado. You'll go up through a high elevation changes. It is incredible. And let's see, 550, here we go, right up through here. And once you get to Bloomfield, you'll see a lot of oil derricks or natural gas derricks or something like that in that area. And then you take 550 on up through Aztec, right through the Colorado state line, and everything changes at this point. Let's change modes here. All right, so we've changed into terrain mode on the map. And you can see the green is the forest, the ridges of the elevation. And once you get to Durango, you know you're getting somewhere. And I stopped in Durango, got some fuel, and then got on the phone and met up with Hobo Joe in Silverton. That's straight north up the $1 Million Highway. 5:50. Silverton's going to be right. There it is. Beautiful little town. We met there. Had some food, and then we went on out this highway. 550. $1 million highway. There's Mineral Creek. We stayed at a campground right on that creek. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, so we switched over to satellite view. There's the campground. And you see Mineral Creek runs right along the edge of the campground. Man, this was a beautiful campsite. We spent 2 nights there. Let's pan out so you can see how close to Silverton it is. There's the town of Silverton here. So it's only like 2 miles up the road. And man, what a campsite it was. And it was totally free. Well, we didn't go up that far. Alright, so we stayed 2 nights there. Then we continued on up to Ouray, or Ouray. Not real sure how to say it. Alright, we flip back into default mode so I can see where I'm at. So we left Silverton, going north. Stopped in Ouray. Fantastic little town. Unbelievable. And then went on up to Ridgeway. Went over to Telluride. Where are you, Telluride? Let's zoom out. There's Telluride. It's a big horseshoe loop to get to Telluride. See, here's the bad thing about, we were in Ouray, right here in the middle of the screen. And if we could have just gone southwest, we would have been in Telluride in like 15 minutes. But you can't, there's no road there. So we had to go all the way up and around just to get there. That white is snow-capped mountains. And there's no pass there. Okay, so I flip back over to terrain mode, no, satellite mode. And you can see there's no road between Telluride and Ouray. So we had to drive all the way up to Ridgeway and around through Placerville and all that. It's just the only way to do it. And from the satellite view, you can see the snow on the mountaintops. It's a beautiful, amazing place. So we hung out in Telluride for several hours. There's a big sign as soon as you come in there. It says, "No sleeping in vans in this town allowed." Big digital sign. And when you pull into town, there's vans all over the place. But they will not let you stay in your van on the street anywhere in Telluride. So we left there. We went up to Montrose. We had some food in Montrose, and Hobo Joe actually treated me to lunch there. That was very nice of her. And let me clear this. Okay, back on widescreen. Left Montrose, headed over to Cimarron. There's some beautiful lakes here. On our way to Gunnison. You know what we didn't do? That I went back later on by myself, and I went up to Crested Butte. That place is amazing. We left Gunnison. Let's see. We continued on over. And let's see. We hit 285. Went back north. This will take you up to Aspen. Let's zoom out here. Went back up 285, 24. Took a left here on 82. Went into Aspen. And that was probably the biggest disappointment of the trip, was Aspen. It just was not what I was looking for. Hobo Joe didn't like it either. So we continued on up to Carbondale and was looking for some Bureau of Land Management in Carbondale. Didn't find any luck there. Went on up to Glenwood Springs. Beautiful town. Absolutely incredible. let's flip over to satellite view. So I-70 runs through a canyon here and crosses back and forth over the river in Glenwood Springs. And let's see, then we continued on out to Rifle. And let's see, we found a campsite, a BLM campsite, just south of Rifle. Let's go back to Street View. Oops, you know what? I was wrong. We bombed out in Rifle. The place was closed for COVID. So we came back to Glenwood Springs and we took Midland Avenue. There it is. All the way down, turns into 4 Mile Road, and it just continues on. And then you'll see this green area come into play here. Right out in this area somewhere here was the BLM land we stayed on. And we stayed one night there, packed back up, and the next day headed to Rocky Mountain National Park. And it was quite a drive from Glenwood Springs all the way out to Rocky Mountain National Park. And we came in the back way. Yeah, we exited I-70 at Eagle and came through. We took a dirt road. It was called State Bridge Road. And it went on for about 30 miles. And we ended up on 34. There's 34. And we took it on up to Rocky Mountain National Park and went into the park for the day. Went through Estes Park, came back down 7, and found a pay campsite there for the night. Let's zoom in and see if we could find out where that was. Right in this area here, there was a pay campsite just south of Estes Park. And it was a great site. And the next day, we left that campsite south of Estes Park, and we came all the way back down 72 through Nederland, just west of Boulder, came all the way down just west of Denver to, I can't remember the exact town. I think it was Silverton. But we stopped at a Walmart, did some shopping, and that's where we parted ways. She had to get back to Arizona, and I had about another week left in Colorado, and I headed out and went straight on down to probably one of the greatest, highest elevation campsites I've ever seen in my life. And that was outside the town of Leadville, Colorado, not too far south of I-70. I think my campsite was at 10,500 feet. And it was a little tough to breathe, but it was nice and cool. And I will zoom in on the spot that I was in. See this lake here? Turquoise Lake. I was right here at the end of the swoosh. I'll zoom on my exact campsite. This area right here. Let's go over to satellite mode. Okay, so here's the dam that goes across the edge of the lake. This is not a road. This is a power line trail. And you can get a van down it. It's pretty rough. My campsite was right in this area here. But this is not a road. This is just power lines that run through here. And there's a little dirt trail underneath the power lines. So I camped here and walked across the road and sat on the edge of the bank of the lake. And it's a big lake. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, guys, we will wrap it up. Don't have time to discuss the rest of the trip in this one. We've gone longer than I thought we would. Take care. Be well. Smash the bell.